Good morning, students. In our last class, we have seen access modifiers in a class. We said we have three different types of access modifiers in C++, that is public, private, and protected. And in order to provide data security or data abstraction, we said these access modifiers are helpful. Okay, not only these, after that we discussed constructors, and constructors we defined it is used to initialize the object of a class. Whenever we are creating an object, in order to initialize that object we are using constructors. So basically that I will explain with the help of a simple example over here. Let us assume that we have a class. Already we discussed in yesterday's video, but once again I just want to give a revision on that. So let us suppose we are declaring a class ABC. My class name is ABC, and in it I am declaring a public data member. Let us say int A. A is my public data member, and inside it or else we'll deal with only the constructor. We don't use these parameters or data members. We use only the constructors. And what we said, how we gonna use a constructor? Constructor name must be same like your class name, and the constructor is not going to have any return type. So my class name is ABC, so my constructor name will be ABC. As it is a member function, it is something like a member function, so definitely it is going to have parenthesis. Just put a semicolon at the end. Then close this class, semicolon at the end. I want to define this constructor outside of the class. So what are my options? As the constructor is not going to have any return type, don't put the return type, directly use the class name. In order to qualify this constructor, we have to use the class name along with the access modifier. So ABC is my class name. So ABC colon followed by my constructor name, that is ABC only, and we have to use two parentheses, set of parentheses. Then open the curly bracket. In it I am going to write one simple statement: cout object is being created. Object is being created. A simple message I have taken inside my constructor. I just want to show you when this constructor is going to be invoked, when this constructor is going to be called. In order to show that, I am taking very simple example. So now after the constructor definition, what I have to do? I have to write my main function. That is I am doing over here int main of. So in it, inside this main, how we are going to get the functionality or how we are going to invoke this constructor? Yeah, we don't need any object, isn't it? In order to invoke the constructor, we don't need to specifically mention that constructor call. So simply what we have to do? I have to create the object of this ABC class that itself invokes the constructor. So my class name is ABC. If I create the object OBJ, okay, doing so is enough. If you do like this, it will automatically invoke your constructor. So when I am creating the object, the creation of object itself invokes the constructor. So what will be the output of this program? Output of this program is you will get this message: object is being created. Object is being created. Okay, object is being created in the sense object is under the construction process, isn't it? So simply in order to invoke, like it is a regular, we said your constructor is going to behave like a member function, but it is a special type of member function. As it is behaving like a member function, it does not require to call your constructor with the help of the object. We are not doing that one. Let us assume this ABC over here, instead of using instead of using like a constructor, if I use a method over here, let us say if I use a function over here, display of, public display of. So if I use like this, it is a regular method. It is not a constructor. It is a regular type of member function. Now, in order to write the definition of this one, again I have to qualify the function name with class name. So what is the return type over here? I am taking the return type as void. Okay, so you have to take the return type here also, void followed by display. Now, how we are going to call this function? Because as it is not a constructor, we have to call this function with the help of object. Now, in order to print this message, what I have to do? I have to put obj.display. Then only you will get that message on the output screen. So, being a regular member function, it requires special call. It requires special invocation with the help of object. So, if it is a constructor, no need of doing all these things. It will be invoked automatically. As you are creating the object, your constructor will be invoked automatically. And it will print the message, or it will do the functionality, whatever you are defining in it. Clear? So, that we have already seen the points related to your constructor, we have already discussed. And example also I have shown, and this example also you can consider as an for constructor. Then types of constructor, we have 3 types of constructors in C++. So whatever constructor I have shown you just before without any parameters, we call it as a default constructor. Okay. See, in general, there is no need to call your constructor, there is no need to write your constructor if you don't have anything to do in it. So, for your initial programs, we have not written any constructors, but even though we have created the objects of those classes, then how come we have done means, can you just pause this video, ma'am? Okay, we have 3 different types of constructors: a default constructor, parameterized constructor, and copy constructor. So first of all, see, even if you don't write any constructor in your class, there will be a default constructor available. Let us assume that I am writing a class same ABC, and in it I am not using any constructor, because as long as you don't have anything specific to do inside a constructor, you don't have to mention the constructor inside the classes. Let us assume that in this program, when I am writing my class, I don't have anything specific to perform inside the constructor. So what I am doing, I am simply omitting the definition of my constructor. Even though I am not specifying the constructor definition, my object will be created. How come my object is creating when I am not mentioning the constructor? Means with the help of that default constructor only. If you don't add any constructor into your program, then also it is possible that you can create the object. How come we are creating? Means with the help of default constructor. So let us assume I am declaring public int a, integer a. Then I am taking, okay, no need of any method, simply close it. Then write the main function int main. Then take the class name ABC and object. Okay, then use that object to initialize the variable 20. Then print that value. Cout a value is, take this inside a string, a value is, then print that variable, that is a. So like this. For this program also, definitely you will get the output. What output you will get? You will get this output. A value is that 20 you will get. How come you are getting that 20? Even though, how come you are creating that object when you don't have the constructor? Means a default constructor will be added to your class even though you are not specifying any constructor. That default constructor is what? Simply the class name ABC followed by the 2 parentheses, open curly bracket, closing curly bracket, that's it. So this will be added to your class. So this constructor, we call it as a default constructor. Default means even when you are not mentioning the constructor inside the class, it will be added by the compiler automatically to your class, so that you can create the objects. So this phenomenon we call it as default constructor. So the next thing is parameterized constructor, means we can have the parameters to your class. Parameterized constructor is something, being a member function, your constructor can also have parameters to it. Okay. So as we said, your constructor, it is a special type of member function. So being a member function, it can also have parameters to it. So generally what we said, the advantages of having constructors, one is to initialize the objects. How can we initialize? Pass it. Okay, so the second type of constructor, that is a parameterized constructor. So a constructor can also have parameters, so that you can initialize the data members of your object. Whenever we are creating a class, and with the help of that class, whenever we are creating an object, inside that object we are going to have the data members. So in order to initialize those data members, we use parameterized constructors. I will simply explain one simple example that will give you the clarity of this constructor usage. So let us assume that I have a class, same ABC. In it I am declaring three variables: public, integer A, integer B, integer C. So now suppose if I am creating, I will write the program step by step. Later on I will add some content to this class. So for now, you just remember, I have a class. Inside it I am declaring three variables, three data members, ABC. Now int main. So what are my options? I have to create the object of this ABC class to access or to initialize these data members. Okay, so the first thing, I have to create the object ABC of obj. So now obj is an object for this ABC class. Now using this obj, I can initialize all these variables. Obj dot a equals to 10, obj dot b equals to 20, obj dot C equals to 30. Like this I can initialize my data members inside a class. This is one way, and this is most simple way we can say, and most it will consume a lot of code. Whenever you are doing like this, it will consume a lot of code. How can we simplify, how can we optimize this code? In the sense, with the help of constructors. So when you are calling this object, it will automatically, what it will do, it will create, whenever you are creating this object, it will call the constructor. So let us assume that constructor I am writing over here, ABC of, and inside this constructor, if I write A equals to 10, B equals to 20, C equals to 30, then close it. Okay, if I do like this, then no need of writing this three statements. So now what will happen? Whenever you are creating the object, this object creation automatically invokes your constructor. This object creation automatically invokes this constructor. When this constructor gets invoked, what will happen? All three variables will get, all three data members will get these values, 10, 20, 30. So there is a problem of doing like this. What is that problem? So it is not compulsory that with the help of a class you have to create only one object. You can create number of objects. So if you create object 1, object 2, object 3, like this, indirectly what will happen? All three objects will get the same values for ABC. The same values for ABC. That is the problem over here. So when you are invoking the first object obj1, what will happen? This object creation will invoke this constructor. This object creation will invoke this constructor. So ultimately what will happen? A will get 10, B will get 20, C will get 30. Next, second object creation obj2, again it will invoke the same constructor. So here also A will get 10, B will get 20, C will get 30. Again third object creation, that object will also get A is 10, B is 20, C is 30. Likewise the problem, whenever you are doing the initializations with specific numericals inside your constructor, all your objects will get the same values for data members. So this is a problem. With default constructor we have this type of problem. So what we have to do to avoid this kind of problem, we have to go for parameterized constructor. We have to go for parameterized constructors. So parameterized constructors, how they are helpful in order to initialize the objects with different values, we can say like that. So in order to initialize your objects with different values, we use parameterized constructors. The problem of using default constructors to initialize the data members is all data members of all the objects will get the same values. So that is the problem. To avoid this problem, we are going for parameterized constructor. So the concept is very simple. Instead of taking constant values inside your constructor call, we use parameters, so that different objects will get different values for their data members. So now what I have to do? I have to write one parameterized constructor over here. That is same ABC of how many parameters I have? 3 parameters of type integer. So simply put like this. Put like this and close the class. Close the class. So this is my parameterized constructor. So now what I have to do? Yeah, inside this ABC, yeah, I have to write the definition for this ABC. So how come? No return type ABC colon ABC of, okay, take any 3 values, int x, int y, int z. Now inside this constructor I have to initialize A with x, B with y, C with z. So like this I can do. Then close. Next is int main of void, and in it, whenever I am creating multiple objects, at the time of object creation I have to pass the parameters, so that those parameters will get copied into these parameters of your constructor. So let us assume I am creating the object of my ABC class, ABC obj1 of, here I have to pass the values like 10, 20, 30. So now these 3 are my parameters for this constructor call. So now what will happen? So when this object gets created, ultimately this 10 will be copied into this x, 20 will be copied into y, 30 will be copied into z, and that 10 will be initialized to A, that 20 will be initialized to B, that 30 will be initialized to C. So in this way my obj1 object, inside that obj1 I am going to have A, B, C. A will get 10, B will get 20, and C will get 30, like this. So let us assume I am creating another object ABC of obj2 with some different values 5, 15, 25, like this. Now what will happen? obj2 will get its memory, and in it A will get 5, B will get 15, C will get 25. How come? Because whenever you are creating this object creation will invoke the suitable parameterized constructor. Okay, how many parameters you have? 3 parameters. So this will invoke this constructor. So over here 5 will be copied to x, 15 will be copied to y, 25 will be copied to z, and that x value 5 will be initialized to a, y value 15 will be initialized to b, z value 25 will be initialized to c. In this way you can get this type of object what we call memory view inside your computer's memory. Understood? So now you can manipulate their values. Now you can print those values on the output screen. How come? Cout of obj1.a comma obj1.b and obj1.c. Like this you can print on the output screen. Same way you can print the second object as well. obj2.a, obj2.b, obj2.c. obj2.c. Okay, we'll see these things in your computer so that you will understand in your programming. Okay.